Hello everyone, this is Abhishek and I have Mr. Ashwin Pathak, who is the co-founder for this idea along with me. And first of all, we would like to start with thanking the STF organizing team for allowing us this opportunity, and thanks to the wider organization for making our idea shortlisted to the semi-final stage. So here is a humble attempt from our side to create a video so that we can qualify for the finale. Without taking much time, I would quickly like to kind of hand it over to Ashwin, who will speak about the problem statement that we are trying to address.
Yeah. Hello, friends. This is about Unified Network Communication Infrastructure for the Enterprises. Directly jumping into the problem statement and what we have listened to our customers. So the first problem that we have identified is enterprises that Tata Communications serves. They have multiple needs to address their UCC requirements, but at the same time they lose a lot. And how we're trying to put out here in front of you. The first problem that we heard from our customers is that they buy a lot of UCC assets. However, they remain underutilized to the extent 35%. And at the same time, they face challenges of not being utilized to its optimum. So that is the first problem that we heard from our customers. Second problem, what we also noticed is that as various UCC providers are continuously adjusting their features, product sets, new forms of integration, movement to cloud, it's all a moving part. And that's where enterprises have to continuously readjust, reinvent, or realign their staff, resources, and that's where one of the challenges as well what customers face.
Imagine in terms of CIO's biggest worry that keeps him awake every night is more around because every time he's adjusting its UCC strategy and the dynamism that it brings along with the increasing user base, the shifts in the technology that's happening so rapidly, uh, which ultimately then, if we summarize, comes to our third and fourth problem statements, which has a direct impact on the total cost of ownership of an UCC infrastructure or building a complete environment for company users. And if you see, all of that then results into a lower returns on investment that ultimately most CIOs are kind of finding out. Likewise, if you see the total cost of ownership that I mentioned, and this is from a lot of research that we have found out through very renowned agencies like Frost and Sullivan and IDC, and that's where we kind of concluded in a way that the overheads, if you look at, grow by almost 20% to kind of set up a network infrastructure to support a very, I would say, rigid UCC platform usability and adoption within a company.
So as we understood the challenges was enterprises users, there are inherent challenges of the UCC platform in itself, which of course gets translated to the end customers. So for example, the challenges and which actually comes out from the trends of UCC platforms which are in the region of mobility, interoperability, cloud, and social interactions, features that need to be added. At the same time, inherent challenges of the UCC platform are around network bandwidth, user experience. Again, the trend happened to be interop, but that's a big challenge, as well as network security. Finally, optimal UCC engagement is one another aspect, particularly related to problem detection, finger pointing. Okay, whether it's the app, whether it's the UCC provider, whether it's the local issues or the network. Finally, again, further improving customer experience happens to be the continuous problem which CIOs and the IT staff faces. So, yeah.
So here we come to the Unite solution, and I would kind of rely heavily on my co-founder Ashwin as well to kind of take you through it. But if this slide typically speaks more about the overall solution summary, and Ashwin will then take you towards an in-depth analysis of the core part of the solution that Unite offers to enterprises. So mostly, of course, the problems that we kind of laid out and the challenges that are there, which we see as opportunity and a gap that we can actually bridge with Unite, is more around providing the enablement of multiple UCC platforms using the active user usage principle. And we will speak more about it in consecutive slides around it. What we are essentially using is also the federation that we have in place, or the partnerships that we have with Cisco WebEx or Microsoft Skype for Business and other major UCC players like RingCentral or Zoom. What we are trying to give is a flavor of federation in terms of defining it as the next step to the evolution of the partnership that we had for years with them, and then offer that federation back to enterprises, which will then avail it over a very smart and intelligent network to kind of then also have the benefits of cost optimization and the best value and returns on their investments.
Yeah. After looking at the main core about how multiple UCC platforms can be made available on a usage-based principle with the intelligent network, blended with the UCC federation with multiple UCC platforms, we go a step further to also have the central orchestration where multiple UCC platforms and interconnects are then available, made available to the enterprise customers. For example, one enterprise customer needs 2 of the UCC platforms, or another customer needs a couple of them, and end-to-end provision, which is what we rely on the central orchestration. Along with it, we also have the policy engine and the usage detection algorithms, very much brain and heart of the complete solution of Unite, where it actually hooks on to the federations, at the same time also continuously monitors the usage and detects overall performance of the end-to-end experience.
And just to note, this is quite groundbreaking in a way that no single UCC provider or a telecom service provider or a safe infrastructure provider is actually providing this kind of a smart and intelligent network, which has specific policy engines to kind of do a lot of predictive analysis, behavioral studies, and then allow CIOs, organizations to kind of then reduce their overall cost spending and look at active rollouts and pay as you go whenever they do that.
Further, we add value-add propositions of intelligent network algorithms in terms of application aware, where we detect UCC application, which UCC application is being used, how is the overall performance, and likewise. And further on, enterprise AI is the new aspect that we are trying to integrate into UCC space, where collaborating the enterprise AI into UCC will open up many doors and output functions related to many use cases. Finally, a unified SLA of whichever UCC platforms are being used. Of course, point to be noted, it's not a new interop app. We are not doing the interop here. It's only that, okay, if one customer is using only one UCC platform, or an end customer is using multiple UCC platforms, he would get a unified bill, and for each of the UCC platform, there would be an integrated SLA. Moving on.
So these are some of the market trends that's there. So we are not going to spend a lot of time around this, but essentially if we see the CAGR is like over 9% if you see, and by 2024 the market is really going to explode. It's gonna, I think, gonna reach almost $40 billion. So that kind of poses a lot of opportunities for us. So it's definitely a space that we need to be in, and that's something that comes really organic and more of a logical extension for Tata Communications, given the kind of network infrastructure, the SIP infrastructure, and the partnerships that they have in place. So basis that, what we did in terms of some evaluation of the addressable market to start with, and then this is as I kind of reiterated, I'm just reiterating now in terms of the overall addressable market, the TAM that we have arrived at is somewhere around $39 billion, and likewise the large enterprises take the most of that pie of $39 billion. So that's around like $30 billion excluding the SMBs and considering only the large enterprises. Again, a lot of that inputs you can see and read through some of the links that we have shared from a lot of agencies around it. And considering all of that, and as a startup, we think that the share of market that we can achieve within at least a reasonable time frame of 2.5 years would be around $100 million for us.
Supporting information that we found from Frost and Sullivan links have been provided. So let's look at what is Unite. So very simple model that we have tried to create here. Enterprises today like to avail multiple UCC platforms. Although theoretically, the best model would also be to have one UCC platform which would serve all the needs, all the challenges, and all the requirements, which would have various features and various integrations possible. At the same time, the likeness of the people that would address and cater. Well, practically, that's not the case. In practical, there would be some people in some employees in the organization which would be favoring a particular type of UCC platform. There would be certain departments and employees in that we would need specific have a specific use case for a specific UCC platform for their own use or for their end customers, for their partners, and so on. So, in a nutshell, enterprises do use various UCC platforms and they do need various options. That is the practical thing. And that's where we bring in the UCC Federation model, where Tata Communications has some existing engagements with UCC providers, but we go a step further to federate with them, partner with them, engage with them, interconnect with multiple UCC providers across the globe and make it available to our enterprise customers. Finally, Unite stitches everything together, makes it a unified model end-to-end with its own inherently built intelligent network, application-aware, usage-based steering, as well as AI-enabled resources, that is enterprise AI, which I was talking about earlier, integrated SLA, contracting entity, as well as unified billing. So these are the major building blocks. A little bit on the federation. So the federation is actually, as I said, building and engaging multiple UCC providers. Now, there are various UCC providers across the globe, which some might be global, some might be regional, and also based on market research, based on customers' preferences, based on various inputs, we can go further and build new federations and interconnect partnership engagements.
So I think, Ashwin, you should quickly take them through into just a schematic, just like less than a minute, so that they can understand the overall call flow, the packet flow, and how an enterprise is going to use, and what is a unique proposition of that intelligent network that Unite provides to the enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite slides, which I call it like a day in the life of a packet. Here, I'm going to explain day in the life of Unite. Now, if you look at here prosumers who are in offices they have set interconnects, and that's where the Unite comes in. With our intelligent networks, the office location connects to our intelligent network nodes, and these intelligent network nodes are the brain and the heart of Unite, wherein we have a policy manager, detection algorithms, orchestrations, enterprise AI, and all the other modules built in. Of course, there would be many users connecting over the top, over the internet, which would also be there. This use case is particularly for office connectivity locations. And if you see here, overall the Unite, which is in the middle, stands as the heart and brain of the end-to-end solution. And after connecting it to the intelligent network node, further the traffic is carried across to the federation, where based on whatever options that particular enterprise customer has selected, various UCC platforms that he has opted for. For example, this customer particularly might opt for Skype and WebEx, and tomorrow he may have a need of adding in Zoom or RingCentral for that matter. These are some examples just for illustration purpose, and that's how an enterprise can connect to various platforms and take benefit from Unite.
So now quickly moving to the unique proposition and some features this intelligent network is going to offer to the enterprises.
Yep. Quickly, some of the key functionalities, particularly for policy engine and usage algorithm. This is the development area which we feel which sits in the center, gets hooked on to the UCC platforms on one side, and also connects with the end enterprise customer. Now, this is further to detect UCC application license usage and the network resources as well. It also monitors availability, usage, satisfaction, and further on benchmarking, complemented by the enterprise AI, which I'm going to talk about. Now, enterprise AI and integrating into UCC is a new area that we want to focus on parallelly. Now, enterprise AI, bundling UC and enterprise AI with broader machine learning can open up many doors for new output functions. For example, scheduling meetings. Another example would be auto introduction. And many likewise output functions can be built on top of UC platforms and with broader enterprise AI machine learning.
Perfect. Thanks for covering that section. We need to cover something more about the intelligent service routing as well, because that's also a key enabler for to enterprises when it comes to quality of calls, the QoS, and some other jargons which the engineer within the team is going to take you through.
Oh yeah. In a nutshell, we call it for the intelligent network, the intelligent service routing. Now, traditional routing, which happens on packet, here we call it as service routing. Now, for example, optimal path is derived between the two intelligent nodes, and the intelligent service routing actually does a service routing. For example, Skype or WebEx or any other UCC usage can be routed on a particular destined path, which is best optimal for its usage, and this is continuously tracked and also referenced for future use. Now, so UCC platforms need to be continuously monitored for its present usage, as well as for the dynamic use of future anytime in its requirements. So it is important that continuous monitoring of end-to-end user experience, maybe it is a created user experience if it is to be administered, or if it is live production setup or a live user conference or various communication needs to be also monitored. So these are the various things that we are trying to build into it, and the complete provision of the path. As I said, it is orchestrated, and optimal paths are continuously, dynamically modified. Yeah, go to the last slide 1 second. Yeah, so I was talking about dynamic multipath routing and session steering, which are important aspects as service classification as well as delivery functions when it comes to dynamic load balancing and WAN optimization are concerned. So these are the new things that we are trying to build into intelligent service routing. Yeah, we can move.
So I'll quickly kind of take you through the pricing assumptions, some hypotheses, and the methodology that we are thinking to kind of apply in terms of how to monetize it. So these are like mostly, as I said, the principle would be around active user pricing principle, and that essentially helps and raises a lot of curiosity to within the CIO organization of large enterprises, because suddenly they see an opportunity to kind of use a very smart and predictive network, which gives them very intelligent analysis about their entire UCC infrastructure and usage, and at the same time allows them to only pay for the active users. So imagine mostly the most traditional way or the conventional way of using UCC services, like buying, an enterprise would essentially buy like 5,000 licenses from a UCC service provider like a Cisco WebEx or a Skype for Business. But at any given point of time, most CIOs find out that a lot of the user base are not even active or not even using the service on a regular basis. They are like very, very rare usage on a lot of cases. So Unite also addresses that problem and converts that into an opportunity and offer a pricing plan to the enterprises, which then allows them to only pay for active usage, which means the enterprises will only pay for active users and no money will be wasted on unused licenses or zero usage. And so some of these are what we have kind of thought through and outlined for the panelists to kind of go through, and we welcome any questions that come our way around it. But this kind of typically then stitches back to our overall share of market, which we think around $100 million, considering when we go after large and medium enterprises with Unite as a service. So again, some sample pricing plans that I have put across. So this is how the scalability is something, and again it needs to be quite catchy. So we have like primarily 3 flavors of the pricing plan, which is around basic, prosumer, and advanced, and you guys can read it through once it is posted on the STF portal. And likewise, a simple illustration through a use case that we have used in terms of what are the benefits on the monetary fund an enterprise is going to enjoy once they start using Unite. So this is something that you guys can again read in detail when this slide deck is posted on the STF portal. So time to summarize, I suppose, right?
Yes.
And very importantly, I think the customer discovery and validation, everyone would be curious about it in terms of, okay, you have proper organized problem statement that you have laid out, and some of the opportunities that are available in the market, and we have a viable solution. What we feel is already that something is of a disruptive nature, which no one else is even attempting or thinking towards, and but all of this needs a customer validation. So on the customer discovery and validation cycle, we would like to say that we have already socialized our hypothesis with a very large enterprise. Again, you can read through the details around it, and we are waiting some inputs to come back to us. We are further socializing it with a couple of other UCC providers as well, and of course we want to closely work with the UCC product team as well, because we can get a lot of good insights and inputs from them to kind of further refine Unite as an overall solution. So that's our idea.
Just to add, the ideation of this actually started from listening to customers. It all starts from what are customers asking for, what are customers' wants, what are the challenges that they are facing, and how do they serve their end users, maybe employees, maybe departments, partners, and so on. So Unite started from listening to our customers, and that was the main foundation, and that's how we are going to proceed towards very firm validation and have customer himself in co-building and co-creating and enriching our Unite proposition much further. Thank you.
Hopefully within the first 6 months of launching this idea in the form of a company, we can grab at least 2 LOIs or active contracts from them.
Absolutely.
Thank you once again.
Thank you once again.
To everyone for hearing us out. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.